Thank you. Good morning, sponsors, friends, OFD members past and present, and most importantly, veterans. I am Battalion Chief Drew Jager and have the honor of being your MC for today's ceremony. Please be aware that this is an active firehouse, and should the alarm sound, crews will be moving with deliberate focus to their vehicles to answer the call. We should all be out of the way where we are, but as we transition to the area of the wall inside the firehouse, we have the potential for crews and visitors to be trying to operate in the same space at the same moment. And so, if you happen to be in there, please move to the closest open space. It might be to here, it might be in the kitchen, but in the hallway is a bad place to be if they're trying to get to the trucks. Since I have the honor of being both a member of this department and the American Legion, I'm going to join my fellow Legionnaires and don my cap as we transition to the reverential portion of this event. So if you could please stand if you are able and join us as we honor America with our national anthem. Chaplain Paul Reinert from American Legion Post 70, would you please join me here and lead us in the invocation?
Uncover. O Lord, you have shown us that death is but the gateway to a most glorious life, that we must not fear its coming. And we know also that neither life nor death can separate us from your love. Assure us yet that our comrades departed is not lost to us, but share new life with you, where we shall be in your good time be reunited. We know him and to be with him forever. Amen. Amen. Cover.
Thank you, Chaplain. Thank you for attending this event, during which I will attempt to guide us simultaneously to celebrate the spirit and dedication of our shared Oshkosh community and to render honor to all of those who have taken an oath of service. The names that you will see on the wall that we have spent many months preparing for you, along with the help of our community groups, to now unveil will share in the fact that they all took an oath to either serve their country, to support and defend the Constitution against all enemies, foreign and domestic, or to serve the citizens of their community in their times of peril. It seems fitting that this significant day in our nation's history will also be one in which we'll acknowledge some history of the Oshkosh Fire Department. I would first like to thank our sponsors, Art City Signs, Bella's Custom Design, Musa Metal Products, IAFF Local 316, Twin City Monument Works. It is one thing to say that you support the troops or have a bumper sticker on your car, but it's another to put thoughts into action, and we are grateful to these businesses for joining us in this tribute. The committee members that were here, or that are here today that help with this project, please come forward. Yep, I'm calling you out. They are humble and did not wish to be recognized specifically, but here we are. So we have Paul Friday, Ken Kiefer, Chris Clark, Tony Montag, retired engine operator Gary Ross, Captain Craig's Downs, and then we have a couple gentlemen from Music Metal Products. Thank you so much for coming. Go ahead and please take your seats. I'd especially like to highlight the efforts of JD, Gary Ross, and Captain Craig's Downs, whose leadership of the project and research of the names of the honorees were the foundation of this effort. I would also like to thank the crews at Station 15 who have spent countless hours preparing this tribute wall. And speaking of supporting the troops, I would also like to mention the support of the veterans groups here in attendance, specifically American Legion Cook Fuller Post 70, American Legion Auxiliary Unit 70, Wisconsin AMVETS Post 7, the Veterans of Foreign Wars Lorien Lampert Post 1908, the Vietnam Veterans of America Chapter 437, and the Associate Vietnam Veterans of America Chapter 437. Please again join me in a round of applause thanking our businesses, sponsors, and community groups. When I was in the service, I visited a few of these types of posts around the country and was grateful for the free beer, which they would never let me pay for. I did think their hats were a little goofy, and they did not seem to be able to march in step at the parades when carrying the colors. But as happens with many lessons in life, once I accepted the invitation of my local post and learned more about the meanings and traditions of such things, and of all the great things that these service organizations do for the community and veterans, from parade and funeral honors to youth programs and holiday observances, it was not a case of how could I join them, but how could I not? It was folks who remained committed to their country and each other despite the expiration of their enlistments or appointments to their service branch. If you're a veteran, and I'm looking at you young guys, and you say, I don't miss being in the service, but I miss the great people, then please go out to one of these places and you'll find what you're missing. You'll get way more out of it than you put in. Any veterans in attendance, please raise your hand and be recognized. See those guys over there? Brothers and sisters, please join or at least look into these groups. They're well worth your time. Thank you all for your service. Along with the names of all who served both with the Oshkosh Fire Department and a branch of the military, you will find a plaque honoring the 343 firefighters who perished on 9/11. It is our intent that this will not only be a part of our pledge to never forget them, but we plan to augment this portion of the display each year on the anniversary in a special way. The most sacred part of the wall honors the fallen members of our fire department. And clearly, in one of the funeral notices, it mentions that at the time of the procession, that people weren't able to maintain control of themselves back in 1903, and clearly that's happened to me as well. So please bear with me. This happens to me every time I do these kind of things, so I'll get through it. Thank you for your patience. Firefighter Jerry Vosberg was on his 1-hour lunch break at home when the alarm sounded of a boxcar filled with slab wood. In attempting to board the moving fire department steamer wagon, as it passed by, he slipped and was crushed under the apparatus. John Jack O'Connell was the assistant city electrician, as well as a pipeman on the fire department. While attempting to fill the batteries that ran the signal bells on the Main Street Bridge, Jack came in contact with a high voltage wire and was killed instantly. Chief Arthur Apel was overseeing mop-up operations after the extinguishment of fire at the Badger lumber mill. During this time, the vapors of the solvents and lacquers used in the facility accumulated to such an extent that they formed a flammable mixture, and an explosion occurred, and Chief Apel was killed along with other firefighters who were seriously injured. We will now honor their sacrifice by the traditional sounding of their last alarm, and it may take a few moments as the dispatch center prepares.
Oshkosh firefighters Jerry Boxford, Jack O'Connell, and Arthur Appel, who made this great sacrifice and gave their lives in the line of duty. May they rest in peace and never be forgotten.
Thank you all for joining us today. Please make your way into the hall to see the memorial and what we have completed with your support. Make sure to enjoy some cake and coffee in the kitchen as well. Thank you all very much for coming.